Welcome back, everybody. Today's tutorial, we're going to start focusing on the order side from the customer. So for example, if a customer comes to a restaurant, what they want to see is the menu, and then subsequently they can add to the menu. So how I envision this to work is that nowadays QR code is so common. So what I want to do is for the user to scan the QR code, and it brings out the menu for them to order and add it to cart. And then when they add to the cart, they can check out and send the order to the restaurant. So what I want to do here is let's create a page first that when the QR code is scanned, it links to this page of menu items. Oh, well, firstly, what I want to do here is when the user scans this QR code, it brings them to a home screen of the restaurant, and subsequently for them to enter a table number. So let's quickly get started on this. So this is going to be a very basic page. Well, I'm just going to create a new blank page. Order home page. This is going to be the customer side. Maybe you can tidy the folder a bit from the restaurant to the customers. So the category ad is here, and the restaurant. All these are restaurant related pages and components. So let's do that for this page, welcome page. And what I want to add is, let's add a container first. Let's add some padding. And basically this page on load will basically grab the restaurant information first, or basically the restaurant's detail. So what I want to do here is add a page parameter. Let's call this restaurant ID, and it's going to be type string. And I'll explain why I'm doing this right here. I'm going to use that as kind of like a route, something when the user goes on the website, you see the end part like slash XYZ. This is almost like a route to that specific restaurant. So this is how we can do it. So basically what it does is on the page load, it extracts this restaurant ID and populates information about it. So what we need here is basically an onload action. So on page load, we need to create a custom function or custom action that basically gets the document reference and the document itself of the restaurant. So let's call this get restaurant ref, and what we need as a return value is basically a document reference of type restaurants, and then subsequently we need to the reference will be the ref will be type string, and then that's basically it. I'm just going to add the boilerplate code. And here's a set of code that's used, right? So here we're creating a document path. I've actually already also covered this in a different tutorial about dropdowns, getting references based on dropdowns, but I'm just using something very similar here. So here we're just creating a document path of restaurants plus the reference, and then just getting Firebase to return this document reference path in the document reference type format. So let's do this, right? So on load, what I want to do is get the restaurant ref based on the page parameter restaurant ID, and let's call it document ref. And then subsequently, I'll add a read action here to read that document. Restaurant doc. Cool. Now that's done. Let's make something very basic. It's a welcome. Let's put this as actually no, I'm just add a row here. Sorry, add a column, put a title, put a text field, text field, and then also add a button. So something very basic here. I'll add some padding of 16. I'll add let's enlarge this to 20. So this will show the restaurant's name. So the restaurant docs, restaurant name, and then required field of, let's call it restaurant name, just a default variable. And then the text field, I am going to put enter table number. Here, I'll just increase the width, and then the button, I'll just say start ordering. Something very basic here. Nothing too special about it. So I'm going to make this field a required field. So similarly, I'm going to wrap this in a form validation. And then text field. When they press start ordering, let's validate the form. Okay, so that's what I'll do here. So in this container, I want to make sure, let's make sure that the action output of this restaurant document is set. So only show here. So we're going to result in some random null error. Okay, now that's done. So how do we get to this kind of page, right? So what I want to do here is, in terms of testing it, we need to subsequently deploy this to the web first. So here I've enabled platform, enabled web, and then I've just simply pressed deploy. So this basically, if we go to this route, so if we go to this exact kind of restaurant, like YT restaurant ordering flutterflow.app/order home name, order home page, and then get the restaurant ID from the example one we just created, it will show exactly what it shows. So I believe I have Steven's Diner here, and then and the user can subsequently enter the order number. So that's what's shown on the mobile. So I'll show how it looks when it finishes deploying. In the meantime, while it's loading, let's create a page that shows the ability to order. So let's use AI to create a page. So let's add a page called ability menu order page with to add to cart, add number to cart, and page has menu category and underneath menu item. Let's see how well AI reads this. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I don't know why this is gray. Must be some null issue, but it looks okay. Let's just play with this and see how it goes. So let's call it customer order page, order menu page. And I'm just gonna delete this. So I need to clean this up a little. So maybe just add back the title. Actually, no, I won't add that back title. Let's just delete these containers. I'm gonna replace this with a column. I don't know what's going on here. This quirky little 0 is way off. But we'll fix it a bit later. And then I'm gonna change this to a list view. So I'll replace this with a list view. So this is what I'll do here. So first things first, I want to show the categories. All right. So let's delete this also. So the categories will be generated by the list view. So this page basically needs to take a parameter of the restaurant. So I'm just going to pass this as restaurant reference, token reference of restaurants. And then it's going to be a list view. And I'm going to do a background query on the list view, query collection of menu category. And I'm going to filter where restaurant reference is equal to the page parameter. And then I'm going to order it by category order number increasing. Looks okay. Let's add some spacing of 16. Let's Now let's generate the menu items. So in order to generate the menu items, we need to do another background query on the column here. So we have the category, and then let's generate the column here based on it. So I'm going to add a background query, create collection, menu item, list of item. I'm going to order it by the menu item order number, filter where the menu category reference is equal to the menu categories document of the parent list view, menu category reference. Now press OK here. This looks good, and then I'm going to add some spacing on the column. So as the user scroll down, they can see different menus. So they will see starters first, and then they'll see mains, and then they will see dessert, and then the drink menu last, and then subsequent items within it. So that looks pretty good. Maybe I just change the title here to show that it's working. The item title, press save. Great. Okay, going back to kind of the customer ordering side. So just make sure you uncheck required authentication, because we don't want the customer to need to sign up to see this page. So you can see here, the path is basically your domain / order homepage / this is the restaurant ID that matches the restaurant's Firebase document ID. So you can see Steven Diner, and can order, enter page number. If I press this, it says please enter order number, and then so that's how it works. So let's quickly do some final touches to navigate to the order page. So let's navigate to the custom order page where we're passing the restaurant reference, which is basically the action outputs document reference. And then let's save this, and then let's iteratively test it. We can do a Chrome local run, or you can publish it as well. Ultimately, it's your choice how you want to test and what's the fastest for you. So I'll just deploy it again. So I've actually just deployed it as a local host test. So let's enter a number on table 1. Let's start ordering, see what happens. Voila. So you can see here, it looks to be working. So here's the menu. If I scroll down, you can see this, the starters section, which I just inputted the kind of the text, the Wagyu, also the main, the dessert, and the drinks. So if I quickly finish this designing this page, we can just add the path of the item image, the description here, item description, and then the price here, menu item, price. So it'll be number format of type decimal, display as currency, tick, tick, save. So I'm going to save this. Awesome. Let's just hot reload this in our Chrome. Okay, now that the app has loaded, you can see what it looks like. So when the user goes to the menu screen, you can see here, they can basically scroll down and look at the starters, the main, the dessert, and the drinks. So this is the menu of the restaurant. So I'm going to take a pause here now. We've covered a lot here by configuring a public page that the user can, the customer can enter from to start ordering. And then when they press start ordering, they go to the customer order page. So that's how it works. In the next tutorial, I want to cover adding to cart and subsequently checking out and sending the order to the restaurant. And finally, in the last tutorial, I'm going to cover QR code, allowing the user to scan a QR code, which basically brings them to this page. And ultimately, this QR code can be pasted all around the restaurant, on a table, etc. That allows the user to scan it, and then they enter this page where they can basically go through the whole user customer flow, where they place an order, send it to the restaurant, and then lastly, restaurant ordering management. So we're going to have an order management form, seeing all the orders that's coming in through the customers, and then they can the restaurant can basically mark them as completed. So remember to comment, like, subscribe to stay updated on this series, or if you are interested in more FlutterFlow tutorials. See you next time.